At Shelter Insurance, we've found that peace of mind offers some real advantages. That's why we work hard to make things easier for you. By sheltering your cars, by sheltering your home, by sheltering your toys, by sheltering your life. Peace of mind. Isn't that the best shelter there is? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Ask Shelter Agent Mark Manning about Shelter's competitive insurance rates.
Presented each and every month by Subway in the Walmart Supercenter, the Coach Don Harrison Show, head football coach, athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds. He's the man, Mr. Greyhound for sure. And, Coach, we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to get on the board, and we're going to actually talk a little football, a little X and O, and how things work in our offense. And,
yes, sir.
You know, we'll start from, base play that we're going to do. But first of all, what's going on in off-season right now? Spring football practice coming up. We're filming in April. The show, we play all April. Where are we?
Well, we're in phase 2 of off-season, and the boys are working really hard, and we're kind of juggling schedules because, some of our kids play baseball, some of our kids run track, so we're hit or miss on the times we get our kids. Yeah. Majority of the time we try to get everybody together. We're probably going to spend those days with everybody together practicing, but like today they're going to walk in, they're doing a total body workout today. We're on what we call the pyramid scheme of our off-season conditioning and workout, and again, kids are working really hard. They hit the door every day, and we're just really impressed with this group and what they've done in the weight room. Well,
there's no doubt, and you got to work, and we've talked about it many times in this program. You work all year long, and the kids are ready. I mean, they can't ever, you can't ever get too much work in. But I know the improvement, and you're seeing improvement in these kids.
Absolutely, and it just comes down to that this is a group of guys that have been with, in my opinion, two sets of good seniors.
Right.
The seniors that we had 2 years ago, they really set the standard high for the work ethic around here. And then the guys that graduated this last year, they were great workers too. So it's kind of just becoming the norm that you're going to work hard in off season, you're going to see results, and it's going to carry over into the field. And that's what we got to get to. And we got to get to the point where we're going to outwork everybody because we're lower in numbers than everybody else. But we do have great athletes, and we have great athletes that work hard. And when you got great athletes that work hard, good things are going to happen for us.
We have had a couple of people just ask and said, what really like for Coach Harrison to maybe show us a base offense, show us a base play, show us how everything starts with the offense, because let me tell you, during the game, it's anything but base.
No.
It's anything but base.
You're right.
That's right. There's a lot of complex knowledge, a lot of complex formations, a lot of complex plays, but we're going to start with some base stuff coming right up. When you get on a board, what we used to call the chalkboard, we're going to let the orange represent the offense and the black represent the defense. And, of course, there's 11 guys on each side of the ball. Tell us what we're lined up in here, Coach, and let's talk about a football play that we run here.
This is one of our basic formations we call split doubles, where we're gonna bring in one of our guys. We're going to bring one of our bigger kids in as a tight end, and we're going to put him down and take one of our wide receivers out. We're going to split to the wide side of the field, try to keep the tight end into the boundary, which is the short side of the field. One of the reasons why we do things like that is the matchups that some coaches now are calling boundary or field their strength. They're not calling how you line up anymore. They're calling their boundary or strength to where the ball is on the field. They're not waiting for you to line up. They're just going to put what they want. A lot of that has to do with what we're doing, and what we're going to do today is I'm going to talk to you about one of our base plays, which is just outside zone. This is a play you see we give to Carl all the time. We can run it different ways. We can hand it off. We can pitch it. We can hand it off in front. We can hand it off behind. It's probably our most versatile play, and it's the base play in our offense.
All right, and we're here with shotgun formation with the quarterback here, and then the tailback, I-back, running back, whatever you call this guy, which we'll talk about. This would be Carl Turner in most cases right here. All right, let's talk about what the base play is. A great play for the Newport Greyhounds.
That's right. Well, the number one thing is anytime you're in a set, we leave 3 receivers on the field, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to expand the field. We're trying to get you to honor those guys. But the other thing is these 3 guys right here have to block. No matter what happens, they have got to find a way to block. And what we tell them to do is to block the MDM, the most dangerous man to the play. So if the play is going to the right, in which this play would be going to the right in this case, who is the most dangerous man near them that has a chance to make a play on the ball? They have to assess that by the snap of the football. They have to attack and they have to block. The next thing is the play is going to the right. So the offensive line all has calls. They have neat little code words that they use, and one of the code words that we use is brother, brother. And so what we're going to do is these two guys together are going to block the end man on the line of scrimmage. Okay. As soon as they get both hands on the end man on the line of scrimmage, they're going to find the next threat, which is just above them on the second level. These two guys right here are pretty much doing the same thing. They're going to move laterally together and work this guy up to the next level. The guard right here has pretty much an easy job. He's going to open up and run. If he can outrun the nose, he's going to work up. This guy right here, the left tackle, is going to do what we call scoop. He's going to get the most depth, and he's going to try to run the nose guard and seal him off. Okay. On the snap of the football, the quarterback's going to take the ball. He's going to turn slightly to his right, open up 2 steps, and really show the defense the ball. He wants to show him the ball because that helps on our play action. In this instance, Carl would take a slight step to his right. He would turn at a 45-degree angle, and what we tell him to do is to attack the number on the back of the center's jersey. So the tight end's jersey. Okay. So as soon as he opens up, he finds the tight end. So maybe our tight end this year is going to be number 44. He's going to run right at the 44, and he's going to read that block. As soon as he gets up, he just expands with the block. Now, if this guy comes down hard and he seals it, he now sees the number pointing this way. He knows to cut inside. This play can literally go here, 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 or here. After he gives the ball, we teach our quarterback always to spin backside and catch this guy. Because if this guy comes in too hard and he's running down the line, this quarterback's going to fake. He's going to give the ball. He's going to fake. And when he turns his head, if this kid's already all the way inside, he's going to look to the sideline to me and tell me to run the bootleg. Absolutely. Because he has no chance of catching us. And we have all sorts of bootlegs we run where our kids run routes and we sell the same thing. But when he whips his head around, he's trying to see this guy right here. What is he doing? Because if he's standing right here staring at him, it's not a good idea to run the bootleg. But if all he's worried about is Carl, he's going to be coming too far inside. He whips his head around, finds that guy, and now we're looking at our next play. And this is what we call our outside zone play. And again, a lot of the things we do is based off outside zone. A lot of the things that we throw is play action off outside zone. And that's what you do with your base play is you get really good at it and you work off of it.
Coach, amazing, and folks will appreciate this in a football game. You line up your guys know where they're going to be, and they know what their responsibility is going to be. What they don't know is actually what these guys are going to do. No. So absolutely. You have to say, if this guy does this, then you have to do this. So it's not just set in stone. And that's why sometimes these guys make great plays and we go, well, why didn't we block that guy? Right. Well, sometimes that guy may just be a little bit better than us on that play.
That's right.
So, but it's a great play. It's a base play. It's one we use, and we're going to use that play a lot. And so much of our offense comes off this play.
Absolutely.
You talk about giving it to him, and he has options here, and then have an option of not giving it to him, having the option of not giving it to him, coming this way, throwing the football. We can do a lot of stuff with it.
Yes, sir.
Hope you enjoyed the first of our edition of Something on the Board with Coach and talking about how our plays work and how we line up. And this is one of many formations that we use. Coach, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
We are at Unity Health, Harris Medical Center. Unity Health, Harris Medical Center.
That's right.
What is all that? What is all that? Of course, we had the interview with Mr. Montgomery, and he told us about the transition from Harris Hospital to the Unity Health, Harris Medical Center. We got a lot of things going on at,
Yes, we
at
do.
Unity Health, do we not?
Yes, we do. It's
Margaret
awesome.
Goodman, she's always got the scoop on what's going on over here at our local hospital. What's up, girl?
Hey, we are so excited about everything going on here. We got plans out just everywhere. Senior Circle being one of those. We have
Yes.
changed our name to Prime Times.
Okay.
And we're excited about that. It's going to be a great organization, just like Senior Circle. We're just going to continue on, but get better and bigger.
Good deal.
So it's going to be awesome. With that, I'm going to tell you some of the things we've got going on in April.
A busy month for sure.
A busy month. In April, on the 13th, we have a diabetic class, and this class is wonderful. I've actually attended this. Whether you're a diabetic or not, you can learn how to cook. They do a class, they cook, they give you all kind of informative information. So it's a great thing to come and just learn about that. Even if you're not a diabetic and you know somebody that is, or even if you don't, it's a great chance to, we always need to learn how to cook better.
Now, I guarantee you.
At least at my house we do.
Or learn how to cook.
Exactly.
Period. Right. Learn how to cook.
Harris Hospital Auxiliary they made up a cookbook, 450 recipes. They're so excited about this.
Okay.
And on the 16th, they're going to have a taste testing here in the community room. It costs $5. You come in, all the recipes that we're going to serve are from the cookbook.
Okay.
And the cookbook costs $12. It's a fundraiser for our auxiliary, and the ladies are real excited about that.
I bet they are.
On the 21st, we are going to have a lunch and learn, and Mr. Stuart Hill, who is the CFO from Unity,
Okay.
will be here. So this is another opportunity for our community to come in and learn more about Unity Health and what they're going to do for our community, what they're going to do for our hospital. It's just a great, great partnership. And I suggest to everyone, if you've not heard or if you've not read anything, or even if you have, come to this and you'll have plenty of time to ask questions. Mr. Stewart is a wonderful man,
Good
and
deal.
he can tell you all about that.
Margaret, no doubt the amount of assets that
Yes.
White County Hospital brought to Newport, Arkansas, and then the Unity Health, meaning all of us right here, united with some, I mean, they have brought some tremendous assets that's really going to make us better here
yes.
at Harris,
Yes,
no doubt.
it is.
No doubt. And I'm sure he'll shed some light on
Yes,
that.
he will.
That's on the 21st.
On the 21st.
Okay.
At noon, we'll provide lunch. So just
Okay.
give me a call, let me know, so we'll make sure we have plenty of room for everybody.
Okay.
Just like you said, it's just, there's so many opportunities, there's so many changes that are being made already, and it's just been since February. So all this is just to go forward.
Mr. Montgomery talked about the pluses that we had in Newport, Arkansas.
Yes.
And obviously there had to be some big pluses for those guys to want to associate themselves, side by side with the old Harris Hospital as such. But, I mean, there's no doubt that number one, we needed a great
Yes.
hospital, and we had a
Yes.
real good hospital, and we're going to continue having not only a good hospital but a great hospital
That's
because
exactly
we're
right.
going to get better.
That's
we're
right.
going to get better, and we haven't been perfect, of course. No, but nothing in life is perfect. But
No.
let me tell you what, we've been good, and we're going to continue to be good.
That's exactly right. And we're going to offer those services for our people here in this community, and those that we can't supply and offer to you guys, then Cersei can.
Expanded facilities.
Exactly.
Yeah,
expanded
absolutely.
facilities.
Services.
It's gonna be
Services,
great.
absolutely.
It is going to be great. One of the other programs that I want to talk to you guys about
Okay.
is our MASH program.
Okay.
It will be June the 8th through the 19th.
Okay.
I did a meeting at the school in the cafeteria. No, I'm sorry, in the auditorium last week in May.
Right.
I mean in March.
March.
Sorry. And I have to tell you that I was so excited because we had probably 30 Newport students
Right.
that showed up for this meeting. And we have had such a difficult time in the 3 years that we've done this program getting Newport students to participate.
Right.
Word of mouth is the only thing I can tell you. They've talked about it. The students that have been attending have talked about it. This is going to be great this year. I am so excited because in the past we've had to get them from Jonesboro and Ball Knob and everywhere all around us in all communities. And this year to have them all from Newport is going to be
Fantastic.
awesome. Yes.
Yeah.
So if you are interested in at any type of healthcare industry, whether that be nursing, being a physician, veterinarian, eye doctor, dentist, any of those fields, you need to contact myself at
Okay.
870-512-3030, or your school counselor has those applications. Get those in as soon as we can, and the cutoff is May the 8th. And we're going to have a great program again this year.
Now, tell me about the program. What do y'all do? What do these kids learn in this program? What's the program all about?
They are CPR certified. They have a day that's totally orientation.
Okay.
They have a day that they become CPR certified.
Okay, great.
We go out to the college. Chris Madden at ASU Newport, he's awesome to work with. He does a mock survey. They dress up. They actually go in. They do the surgery themselves.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, and that is so cool. We go into the OR, and anytime a patient is here in our hospital and allows these students to come and watch,
right,
they are elated because they want hands-on,
Sure.
So last year, the girls got to see a C-section. We got to see an amputation. We got to see a gallbladder. Dr. Pate always does the heart dissection, where they actually take a pig's heart and do a dissection, which is awesome to them.
Yes.
I'm glad
Also to some. Also
like
to
that.
some.
It's the reason I'm not in the medical field.
That's right.
Not my cup of tea. But they learn everything. And not only that, our community is so awesome about letting these students, if they have even a slight interest,
Right.
they allow them to come shadow them for an afternoon. So
Right.
they go to the nursing homes, they go to the veterinarians, they go to the dentist, the eye doctors, they go all over these places. So not only they get a idea of the hospital environment, they get it out in our community, which just makes them realize whether they want that particular field as their
Well,
career
at that
choice.
age, you need some hands-on experience.
Oh, yes.
I kind of relate that to my personal experience as a high schooler and getting out of high school and deciding even in high school that I wanted to be a coach and a school teacher. So you go to school for 4 years to become a coach and a school teacher, and then
Yes.
they don't teach you how to be a coach or a school teacher. Then you get into the real world.
That's right.
And day one you go, I didn't learn that in college.
Exactly.
So it's a great program to have some
Exactly.
hands-on experience. And I
Yeah.
think school teachers I think if somebody wants to be a school teacher, I think the first thing you need to do is
Is be in the classroom.
do you practice teaching? I
That's
think
right.
that it's the
Before
last
they
thing
do
you do.
anything.
Do
That's
the
right.
first thing you do. Go spend
That's
6
exactly
weeks in the
right.
classroom, see if you want to be a part of this.
That's
Just like we're
exactly
doing
right.
this with
Yes.
Unity Health. And,
Yes.
yeah, that's a pretty good
My
program.
granddaughter was in this program last year, and she has always wanted to be in the funeral home field.
Right,
And
okay.
I'm like, I'm talking the embalming the bodies.
Sure,
and all.
absolutely.
And I'm like, okay. Well, I actually contacted one of our nursing homes, Dillinger's actually, and asked them, do you have access today for
Right.
her to come down there and go through this whole step of all this? Of course, they have to get that approved from the families, and they did. And when she came back an hour and a half later, I thought, okay, she's going to have changed her field. I just know she's going to have
Right,
changed
sure.
her. No.
That's what they want to do.
Absolutely
It's what they want to
loved
learn.
it.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Absolutely.
And so this is a way for them to do that, Then they get an idea of what, just like you said, you think in your mind that's what you want to do, but
Right.
sometimes that's not
Yeah,
necessarily
until you walk in that door and
That's
sit there and do that.
exactly right.
Yeah,
That's
but
exactly
tell us
right.
again the dates on the program and
June the 8th through the 19th,
8th
and the
through the
classes
19th.
start at 9 o'clock and they go until 4. You're here all day. We feed you. You don't leave the property.
Okay.
And we have something every day. One of the exciting things that we do a lot of team building. And one of the things we do is we go to Loco Ropes in Mountain View, and the kids love that. And I'll have to tell you a story that we had the very first year. We had a young girl that you have this pole. It's a telephone pole that you've got to climb up.
Right.
No, not happening. So this young girl gets up almost halfway up that pole, and she turns around and looks at me, and she's petrified. And we do not make you do anything you don't want to do.
Sure.
I want that set. We
Right.
do not. But I told her from the ground, I said, you need to take a couple of more steps. You need to know that when you come down off of that pole, that you've done more than your comfort zone.
Right.
If not, you're going to be upset with yourself when you get down here.
Say I was there and I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the pole, she said to me, because I'd made the statement that I had not ever zip lined, and that was not in my comfort zone. And she says to me, if I do this, will you zip line?
And
I said yes.
she did, and you did?
She climbed all the way to the top of that
Wow.
pole.
Little incentive.
And yes, I zip lined screaming all the way down. So, you
What
know,
little challenge.
it was a challenge for both of us, an experience for both of us. But
Wow.
we did great. But
Ought to be a great program.
yeah,
It's
it
gonna
is.
be a
It's an
great
awesome program. So you guys give me a call, either if for prime times, if you're interested in prime times, the program's free now.
Okay,
So
good.
please call me, join. We have lots of activities for those 50 and above, and lots of activities for those 19 and above. So
How do we get in touch with you? How do we call you? What number do we call?
870-512-3030.
3030. I think
Yeah.
I could remember that.
That's right.
Yeah, Ben Black says that's like a gun, a 3030. Remember that?
That's what I tell everybody.
Rifle.
It's a gun, 3030.
Good to see you, girl.
Good to see
it's
you.
always a pleasure to get to visit with Margaret because Margaret's got all the stuff going on at Unity Health at the Harris Medical Center.
That's correct.
Have a good day.
day.
Thanks. Thanks, everybody, for watching the program. He's Dr. McDowell, and I'm not, and we're finished with this interview. No, we're not finished with the interview, but we're just starting the interview. And that's what we usually say at the end, but this is the beginning.
The beginning of the end.
Customized vision care. He's Dr. McDowell, and I'm really not. And boy, I'm glad I'm not. But sir,
Me too. Anyway.
That really. I know you've been here for several years
Yes.
imitating an eye doctor. So what do you do, really?
Originally, I was a comedian who saw a mob hit, and this is my
This is your hideout?
my witness protection
Yeah,
program.
you're hiding out over here, aren't you?
I really know nothing about the eye. It's just a matter. I Googled most of it in YouTube videos. That's how I sound smart.
Well, there are lots of doctors out there that Google that. And we diagnose ourselves, whether it's our eyes.
It's always awkward when you go to the doctor and they Google your symptoms in front of you while you're in the room. Make you a little nervous.
Hey, look right here. Look what you might have.
You either have Ebola or cancer.
One or the other. So what in the world is going on in the world of vision?
In the world of vision, well,
Yes.
that's a broad
Yeah.
question. There's a lot of things going on. In
A
the
lot of
world.
world, a lot of vision. We
Yeah.
see. We have allergies this time of year since it's springtime.
Yeah.
Hey, really, talk a little bit about allergies. That's something that we don't think a lot about when you talk about how well we see and how well we breathe. And
Well, the thing about allergies, it's you can have ocular allergies and not even have a runny nose or anything. Allergies hit people differently.
okay.
But pollen, when pollen and cut grass, and when they're cutting in the fall, you'll get a lot of just stuff floating in the air, a lot of particulates get in the eye, and just irritates them, makes them itch. You just want to dig your eyeball out with a rusty spoon.
Yeah.
Anything
Yeah.
you can do to relieve the itch. So a lot of people will turn to a lot of the over-counter methods. Allergy drops from the shelf at Walmart or Walgreens or your local pharmacy or whatever.
Sure.
But a lot of those aren't really doing you a world of good, because a lot of those anti-allergy drops, even the stuff that says gets the red out, Visine and Murine and all that stuff, those will actually dry your eye out. And so you might have some relief of itch from the allergy, then automatically go right to a dry position where your eye's watering, but it's dry as a bone, it's still itching, so you're using more of the drops, so you're fueling the fire and all that stuff. But yeah, it's if you got a bad itch or bad issue with your eyes and you think it's allergies, let me or some other reputable eye doctor check you
A
out.
professional.
A
That's what you
professional,
guys
yeah.
do.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly right. That's our job. That's
your
what we
job.
gotta do. So.
Well, and you get that, and we do. I mean, we try to doctor ourselves and really not know what to do, and so we just try over-the-counter medications, and sometimes it's just, not sometimes, most of the time, it's better to get a professional to say, look, here's what you got, here's what I can do, this is going to clear this up.
And a lot of people think, well, I'm going to save myself some money by not going to go see the eye doctors. I'm going to self-medicate. I can't tell you the number of people I've seen after 3-4 weeks of trying $80 worth of stuff that didn't work from over the counter. Then they come in and then they get, oh my gosh, I wish I'd done this sooner.
In the very beginning.
Yeah.
The very beginning.
So, hindsight. We were talking about that.
Hindsight. We talked about that before the program.
I do not check that, by the way. I just assume it's 2020.
Springtime also, and we've talked about this even over the winter, Doc, when you talk about protecting the eyes and protecting them with because of the sun and the rays that get in our eyes. Let's talk a little bit about this time of the year.
Yeah.
That's the time that we're getting out more because the weather's nicer.
It's spring is finally upon us.
Yes.
And I can't think of one person who is not anxious to get out of the house and do something.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get out, realize that big ball of fire in the sky puts out a lot of UV, and a lot of that UV is going to lead to cataracts, can lead to macular degeneration, a lot of bad things, and otherwise just uncomfortableness. I made up a word.
That. Uncomfortable.
I made that up.
I like that.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
And this is our video proof that I coined that phrase.
We'll put it in the dictionary if
There
it's
we
not
go.
there. I think it's there. But
So anyway, I mean, you want to be comfortable outside, and you need the protection anyway. Get you a good pair of sunglasses, and you want those that are going to block as much sun from the side. You can get some that are stylish and cute. They're, a lot of the Ray-Bans, for example. We carry Ray-Ban, love the line. They do great protection, but you get a lot of that inherent light from the side coming through some of the lines. So you want a cute pair, fine, but you want something you're going to be outside working in that's not only going to protect your eyes from sunlight, but all those lenses have a shatterproof lens to them. So they protect, I myself, anytime I'm getting out doing anything in the yard, I put on a pair of safety glasses, and usually it's some sunglasses with safety lenses. Because nobody likes to see a one-eyed optometrist, or a barber with blood in his hair. Those are never good.
That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
That's not a good sign.
But yeah, sunglasses.
And y'all carry several lines of sunglasses that are they're top of the line and stylish, functional. You talk about the stylish part, and then you talk about the functionability of a pair of sunglasses. And sometimes we don't look for the function part; we look for the style part.
Exactly. And I'll be honest. We get people coming here all the time. They're looking for a name more than they are an actual,
right.
The right
product.
Device.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's what we try to do. We try to cater to everybody's needs. So the two main lines of eyewear in the United States are Ray-Ban and Oakley. We carry both Ray-Ban and Oakley. We carry Coach for women. We carry Nike for men and women. Nike or Nike? How do you say that?
I say Nike, but a lot of folks say Nike.
Anyway,
however
he says it, I said it.
What part of Arkansas are you from?
Exactly.
Hey.
But we carry Nike, and we got a lot of great styles. Some are sporty, some are stylish, some are both. But I assure you, we've got something in here that will match your desired look.
Well, those things are important. When you talk about allergies and you talk about the sun, those things are very, very important, and we want you to be able to protect yourself. But, the main part of our business is taking care of the vision.
Absolutely.
And from glasses to contacts, and you guys have a bunch of customers, and I guess you have a lot of repeat customers and people, referral customers, and it's busy most of the time in here. But you invite those people who maybe not had success at their particular eye doctor to come join us.
Give us a try.
Yeah,
I mean, the worst I can do is make you hate me too.
That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. But talk a little bit about, I've always been amazed about the contact lenses and how we take just little pieces of
silicone.
Yeah, and put those in your eye. And I remember the first time I put one in, I thought, I remember the old hard contacts years ago. It's all you get.
Yeah.
It was like put a piece of glass in there. And I never tried them because I was scared to death of them.
I'll tell you what,
we've come a long way with contacts.
Oh, we've come a long way. You're talking about RGP. It's a rigid gas permeable lens.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what, I've had a RGP in my eye twice in my life. There will not be a third time. Right. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But, we've got soft lenses now that are fantastic. I mean, I assure you, no matter what your prescription is, there's a soft lens out there that will make you happy. I'm not going to assure you that you're going to see through walls or anything like that, but you're going to be happy with how it feels and how your vision is. We've also had the, recent introduction of what's called a scleral fit lens. It is a hard lens, but it's a much larger lens. It rides on the white part of the eye. It's a lot less sensitive. We can get some really sharp vision out of that, and it's just a matter of it's learning a new task is what that is. But I know there's a lens out there for everybody. So if you you're wearing glasses, you have to wear glasses. David has to wear glasses because he's blind so bad. But anyway,
absolutely.
But if he wants to wear a cool pair of Oakley sunglasses, he's got two options now. We can put him in a pair of contact lenses, and he can put on some cool sunglasses and go to the lake and have a good time. Or there's hardly an Oakley frame in this building that we can't put your prescription in.
Right.
So we can get you a pair of prescription sunglasses that look cool. We can do the same with most Nike. almost all the Ray-Bans. We have a lot of options that I think some people aren't even aware of.
Right.
Because the advancement of eye care and the tools that we use to correct vision and such have really gotten way up there.
You guys bring it to the front here at Customized Vision Care, and
Yeah.
you're expanding your business and have done very, very well. But taking care of folks right here in Newport, Arkansas, and Batesville. We always invite the folks from Batesville down.
If you're watching us in Poughkeepsie, bring it on over.
Bring it on.
Cincinnati.
Yes, it doesn't matter.
Why not?
Why not? I mean, somebody in Miami or New York City, wherever the case may be.
Because I don't know if we got a syndicated deal now. We
Yes,
are
we
in
do.
like 12 markets.
Yes, sir.
12 major
Yes,
markets
sir.
now.
Yes,
It's
sir.
very, very.
People don't really realize that. I mean, the local people don't realize that because they're the local people.
I know, and it's the people in Montreal that don't understand our language. You know, the French speakers up there.
When you get up to that French-speaking country,
It's
it's
difficult.
amazing the phone calls that I always get. I say, could you interpret exactly what you were talking about in French? Of course, I have to Google that. You know.
Yeah. and that's like me back in the exam room trying to
Yes,
find symptoms.
Absolutely. That's what you have to do. I don't see real well. So just don't see real well.
Maybe I did that wrong. Don't see good.
Yeah,
There.
yeah.
That I
You
get like
more
8
of
results for
get
them.
more
Yeah.
of This guy's crazy. I'm talking about absolutely. But he's good at what he does. He's very
I
good.
like to think I am.
You are the best. Customize. I love that. I think that's one of the greatest coined phrases, I guess you would say, that you could come up with.
I'd love to tell you, I take all the credit. My wife is the one that came up with that. So.
Customized Vision Care. Good to see you, my
Thanks,
friend.
sir.
Dr. Gavin McDowell. We're in the Village Mall, Newport, Arkansas. If you need to work on your eyes, this guy can do it.
I can do it.
At Lindley Health and Rehab Center in Newport, we always have a lot of fun. We either do videos, we do interviews, and it's always a great pleasure to come down and get to visit with the folks. And Sherry Hanley, who is the marketing director extraordinaire, the one who is in charge of everything that we do that's shown here on Cable 15 TV and cable15tv.com. Special guest on our program today. Welcome, ladies, to the program. Good to see y'all.
It's good to see y'all.
Good to see you.
All right, Sherry, let's tell us what we got going on here. We got to talk about Team Lindley, part of the team.
We do.
Talk about Team Lindley.
I would like to introduce to everyone today Tasha Bovan. She's been an employee for Lindley for 5 years. She is in charge of laundering, which laundry is a big part of Lindley here. I mean, they have to have clean linens, they have to have clean clothes, and Tasha makes sure of that. But Tasha does a lot more than just laundry. We're all about Team Lindley, and sometimes there's team members kind of behind the scenes of some of these events that we do for our residents. And Tasha is kind of one of those that's kind of behind the scenes.
Let's ask her about it, Tasha. First of all, welcome once again.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Tasha Bovan.
Well, I grew up in Arkansas.
Okay.
I'm really from Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
Elvis, hey.
All right. I got you, girl. I got you.
I went to school in Newport.
Okay.
Graduated in 2000. Like they said, I work at Lindley. I've been here for 5 years, and I love it.
Tell us, first of all, let's get into some of the things that you do. What do you do on a day-to-day basis? When you talk about the laundry and the housekeeping and so on and so forth, tell us about your job responsibility, because this is a huge place, and you're in charge to make sure that it gets done.
Yes.
What do you do on a day-to-day basis?
Well, I just go around putting out all the clothes, the residents' clothes, and it's a big deal because
Yes.
I mean it's like
She
it's
makes
a
sure
lot of-
that they get to the right resident.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a lot.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yes.
Well, I know this, that at part of Team Lindley, not only in your job responsibilities from day to day, you have some other responsibilities that Sherry was telling me about, but tell us what you do. Tell us what you do when we have one of these videos that we put, like Staying Alive, or the we've had lots of videos that have been very, very successful. And tell us what your responsibility is when it comes to the videos that we've been doing.
Okay, my responsibility is whenever it comes to activity, I am the one that puts together all the dances. I am the choreographer. And I love to dance. You know, I love to put together a lot of dances for the little residents and everything. So that's what I do.
It's an awesome responsibility because let me tell you what, these videos with it's the dancing that makes the videos.
Exactly.
Tell me about your liking or your love for choreography, and I mean, when did that get started, and how long have you been doing that?
Oh my goodness, I'll say about a year and a half.
Okay.
About a year and a half, I started doing that, which I grew up wanting to dance anyway.
Right.
Thanks to Miss Sherry, you know.
Any experience prior to being at Lindley of choreography, or just dancing as a young person, just loving
dancing
dance?
as a young person. That's it.
It's amazing the dances that you guys come up to, and I still keep going back to that Staying Alive video, which it was just marvelous that you don't really appreciate good dancing until you understand the work that goes in to get it done.
Exactly.
It takes a lot of work, doesn't it?
It does. It really does.
She spent a lot of time coming up with the dance. And not only is she our choreographer, I mean, she teaches us the dance. Once she comes up with it, then we have dance lessons, and she's in charge of that. So
about 2 weeks. Learning.
Yeah.
Well, there's no doubt that we have to put a lot of work in these videos, and you talk about the people behind the scenes, and Tasha certainly is one behind the scenes, because if you're doing the choreography and you're doing the teaching the dance, you're spending days upon days that we put in an 8-10 minute video. It's kind of like making a movie that you see. That when you make a movie, it takes a lot of time to make a movie. You got to have a lot of integral parts that work together, and
we're kind of like a well-oiled machine here.
Yes.
Tasha, let me ask you this. Tell me some of the things that you really enjoy about being here at Lindley. What are some of the things that mean something to you?
Well, for one, I love my job. I love the people here. I'm a people's person.
Right.
She is.
And they make me smile. You know, I love to show my dimples off to them.
And they love her as well.
Yeah.
I bet.
And you know, my dad is here, so
Right.
I'm with him 5 days a week, you know, and I just enjoy all the residents. Love them.
Well, you have to have a big heart to work in this industry.
Right.
And then you just got to be pretty special, and I know that you're pretty special. And I hear rave reviews about your work and your work ethic, and congratulations to you. I know it's a lot of fun working here. It's fun every time we come out, is it not, Sherry?
It is. It is. We have lots of fun here.
Yeah.
And like I said, we are a big team. We're a big family. And Tasha's one of them, and she's a really good friend of mine, and she's an awesome dancer, let me tell you. She is.
Tasha, we appreciate you so much for joining us
Thank
here.
you. Glad to
Sherry,
be here.
it's always a pleasure to get to see you. And we're at Lindley Health and Rehab Center. We're always something going on out here. Not just the things that you see on TV, Cable 15 TV, or on our website at cable15tv.com, or YouTube or Facebook, but we have a lot more activities that we never do get to see.
Right, we do. We have daily activities, whether it be bingo or horseshoes or a popcorn and movie. I mean, that's daily. And then we have church groups that come out at night, for singing for the residents, 3 times a day. That hardly ever gets mentioned. We have an amazing activity director, Miss Sandy Brooks, that puts that all together. We just do the parties and the dances, and the residents look forward to it, and just have a lot of fun here.
Sherry, thank you.
Thank you.
Tasha, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Good to see you today, and glad you enjoy your work. There's nothing like getting up in the morning, going to work, and enjoying what you do.
It's very rewarding.
Yes,
very rewarding.
We are at Lindley Health and Rehab, Newport, Arkansas. Let's continue on with more of the show. My dear friend Jan Jackson Maris joins us here on the Business Spotlight to talk about Jackson's Funeral Home, and excuse me, been here quite a few years, as we say. And before we got on the air here, we talked about a little. We're thankful, my friend. We're so thankful because we're entering into a very, very special year. Talk about how long Jackson Funeral Homes has been here. Let's talk a little bit about what we're entering into.
We are actually entering our 70th year of business, owned by one family. My grandfather and father bought Jackson's Funeral Home from the Newport Funeral Home, which was owned out of Jonesboro in the 40s.
Right.
And we have continued in the same family for all of these 70 years. And we always strive to give back to the community and to keep our facilities nice, and this year, it's been 30 years since the interior of the funeral home has undergone any major remodeling, but this year we're remodeling each of the staterooms. We're raising the ceiling in the building in the main lobby. We're moving away from paper to paint,
Right.
and we're recovering all of the couches and putting in new carpet, and so we're really looking forward to it. And when it's all completed, I think we'd like to have a nice open house and let people tour all of the facilities, because people are curious about every room in a funeral home.
Sure,
and
absolutely.
we want 'em, if they want to see them, we want them to see
Right.
what our facilities look like from the front to the back and over in our office, and maybe some people who hadn't had a chance to see our museum could also go through it and enjoy it.
Jan, in 70 years, there have been some changes, some upgrades along the way, and you talk about upgrading now, and talk about a few of those changes that we had. And those of us who have been here all of our lives, you know, I can remember how it was many, many years ago, and how it looked, and I see the upgrades and the special features that we have. But talk a little bit about some of the upgrades.
Well, actually, the funeral home that they bought was a storefront on Front Street in Newport, Arkansas.
All right.
And I always have known where it was, and it burned several years ago. Actually, my dad was still alive when it burned, because we all went up and watched the fire while they put it out. And so in '58, they moved from Front Street here to Newport, to Malcolm Avenue, and built the building that was red brick and had the high jalousie windows, and had this big circle drive out front.
Right. Yep.
And the circle drive where I got in trouble for parking by the front door many times, and because that wasn't for us.
That's
was for
right.
the customers.
That's correct.
And we then in '82, he did the big remodel, and the bricks that he had collected all those years went to work on the funeral home. And then in '97, we added the walkway, which were my dad's plans, and finished bricking this building and added our warehouse and museum. And so the funeral home has grown and undergone a lot of changes over the years.
Well, not only talk about the building, but the business itself has grown and gone through a lot of changes, and I think a lot of things, the way we do business today, are a little bit different than they were years ago. I mean, with technology and websites and cell phones and so on and so forth. But it all comes back to what I always consider, which is service. It always comes back to service. And you and I talked just a little bit ago about every good business has strong leadership at the top, regardless who that leadership, and the leadership has changed here. The family hasn't changed. The leadership within the organization has changed, but the service has always been great.
Thank you.
And that's what you do. We want to thank our folks.
Absolutely. Without the people in Newport and Jackson County giving us their trust and putting their faith in us, we couldn't have stayed in business for 70 years, and I am grateful.
Yeah, we're grateful to all of those folks who have made our business, and what an idea years ago of buying something that you think might turn into something. And you just wonder, you talk about your dad and your granddad, you just wonder at the time, I wonder, did they ever imagine? I mean, I wish I could ask those guys today, did you ever imagine that it would turn into what it is today?
I'll have
Gotta have a
to
vision.
say my dad was a dreamer.
Right.
And he was a visionary. He was ahead of his time. I mean, John Purdy will tell you my dad worried about Y2K 20 years before it happened.
Right.
Before anybody else was thinking about it or worrying about it, he was
Is
worrying
that
about
right?
it, because he had actually computerized our business far before any funeral home was computerized or insurance company was computerized. So, and let me go back just a little
You
bit.
bet.
I can remember getting up. Of course, we lived in the house behind the funeral home, and there's a big picture window in the front of that house. And I can remember getting up in the middle of the night, and he would be sitting. Men used to sit backwards on chairs.
Yes.
They don't do that anymore.
Yes, that's
I
correct.
don't know
That
why,
is
but
correct.
he would be sitting backwards on a dining room chair with an ashtray in the windowsill, smoking a Lucky Strike, and probably had 2 packs stacked over here. And he would be staring at the back of that funeral home. and thinking, what can I do to be better?
That's
How can
unreal.
I improve?
Yeah.
And that's still today what we do. I mean, we all get together and talk about, is there anything we can do better? And when somebody comes in, like a salesman from out of town or anything, I always ask them, is there anything anybody's doing that I don't know about?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I like to get everyone's good ideas and their input. You know, how are they growing their business? How are they serving people?
Sure.
And then you find out and you try to incorporate what works in your area.
I would venture to say this. I bet when those salesmen visit other towns and they ask those salesmen at other towns, what's new, what's the vision of other folks, I bet you they talk a lot about Jackson's Funeral Home.
Well, I hope they
Let me tell you what they're doing in Newport, Arkansas at
I hope
Jackson's Funeral.
so.
Well, there's no doubt that they do.
so.
But Miss Jan, good to see you, and congratulations. I mean, 70 years is that's an enormous amount of time in time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you look back in time and you go 70 years and you plot it out there and you look at it on a graph and you go, that's a long time.
Actually, people will say, well, how long have you been in the funeral business? And I say, 51 years because I'm 51 and I was born,
in this business, weren't
born
you?
in this business. But actually, I'll be working 30 years.
Wow.
And I don't know how that
started
happened
when
when I'm only 25.
I was going to say 32. You started when you were awfully young to be having 30 years. Good to see you, girl, and congratulations on 70 years. And I know it'll be a big year, and like Jan said earlier, we're going to have a celebration as such. Sometime late in the year, in the fall, and
just to show our
appreciation.
gratitude and our
Yeah.
appreciation
Yeah.
to the people who put their trust in us.
We're at the 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue, and I've always loved saying it. I've heard Bud Black say it a million times. The 1900 block of Malcolm Avenue. Good to see you, girl.
Thank you. You too.
With interest rates still near historic lows, now's a great time to purchase a new home or refinance your existing loan. Call or go see Kenny Thaxton at ENG Lending for an evaluation of your existing mortgage or for a pre-qualification on a new home purchase loan. ENG Lending is a division of the Bank of England in England, Arkansas, which was chartered in 1898. They offer a full range of today's mortgage products, such as USDA Rural Development, FHA, VA, and conventional financing. They offer 100% financing to qualified borrowers. ENG Lending offers great rates and unmatched customer service. Stop by today and see Kenny Thaxton with ENG Lending, located in the Village Mall in Newport, or call him today at 870-495-3931. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 418481.
Hi everybody, I'm Bud Black and welcome to Sports, and our program is brought to you each and every month by Kenny Thaxton and crew at ENG Lending in the Newport Village Mall. Stop in, you looking for a mortgage, a refinance, they got money to lend at ENG. Stop in and visit, doesn't cost you a penny. Just sit down and have a cup of coffee with the folks and talk about some financing for you at ENG Lending. Kenny Thaxton in the Newport Village Mall. Let's do a potpourri today. We've got several things we want to talk about. And hey, I appreciate folks stopping me out on the street when we're out and about doing things, either me or Jane and I together. And you say, hey, I saw where you said this or you felt like this on an issue. We appreciate it. I'm always willing to listen to everybody's opinion and appreciate it. And thank you for watching and thank you for telling me how you feel. Let's talk with the Cardinals, talk about the Cardinals to start with. For a team that's picked to win their division in a close race, Cardinals still have a lot of question marks. You know, you wonder about Colton Wong. He had a great second half in postseason last year. Can he continue? As we tape, we're just getting ready to start the season. He had a rather poor spring. He has got to produce. The big question mark, Jason Hayward. Can he return to his old form he had with the Braves when he was a 20-25 home run guy? Cardinals got to have some punch. They got to score some runs. This spring, they just didn't do it. And Molina, can he hold up at catcher? You know, he had the injury. They said he came back into camp 20 pounds lighter this year. Let's see what he does over the long stretch. He's not a young guy anymore, and it's hard to sit behind that plate each and every game. And Matt Adams, another big question mark at first base. If Adams doesn't hit the left-handers, Well, he found out he can hit Madison Bumgarner and Clayton Kershaw. He did that in the playoffs, didn't he? But if he can't consistently hit the left-handers, then the Cardinals have to probably take Mark Reynolds off the bench or somebody and play him quite a bit more at first base. So, yeah, there are a lot of question marks. Michael Wacha, the pitcher. Can Wainwright hold up? Can Lackey continue to do as well as he's done? Lance Lynn is a horse. He's going to be fantastic, I believe. But for a team that's picked to win it, they do have a lot of question marks. Now, everything could fall into place, and the Cardinals can have one of those magical years, or just one or two things can go wrong, and they will struggle to win the division. It'll be fun watching them, and they're off in April and running. Now let's mention a couple of other things. Talk a little basketball here at the end of the basketball season, and talk local basketball. I said on this program that Mike Anderson's ball club at the University of Arkansas needed really to make it to the Sweet 16 to say they had turned the corner with the program. Well, they won 27 ball games. They made it almost to the Sweet 16, one game short before losing to North Carolina. And I think everybody's very, very happy with that, all Razorback basketball fans. Looking forward to next year and hoping that the program can continue to recruit, get quality players that can win in the SEC. The SEC's in the process of adding a lot of new coaches and some big-name coaches. So the schools in the SEC have decided they're going to put basketball also up there on the front burner and see if it can produce some money and some good players and some good wins for their schools. So SEC basketball, I think, is about to get a whole lot better. Let's hope that the Hogs can continue on their trek upward. Meanwhile, over at Arkansas State, the Indians continue to struggle. But the word is, as we filmed, that John Brady was going to be retained as the head basketball coach. Brady was at LSU for years and has been at Arkansas State for some time now. You know, it's discouraging to me, and I don't know Coach Brady, don't know anything about him, but it's discouraging because I can remember, it doesn't seem like too long ago, when you went to the Convo Center and there were 8,000 or 9,000 people there, and Nelson Catalina or whoever was coaching. And then it carried on into the Nutt family coaching, and a lot of people going to a lot of games. And it's a sad, sad situation to look at the Convo Center with 1,500 people there to watch an ASU men's basketball game. And, you know, like I say, it wasn't too long ago, there were 8,000 and 9,000 people there. Winning cures all ills, and I don't know if the Indians, the Red Wolves, as I say, the ASU Indians always be to me, and I apologize for calling them that, but the Red Wolves, I don't know what's on the table. I don't know if there's any big hope for them to move forward and become a mid-major like they and everybody else would like them to be. A lot of things have to be answered, and so far, don't see a whole lot of movement on that front. In the meantime, ASU basketball will continue to draw a lot fewer than 8,000 and 9,000 people. That's a quick look at things that are going on in the world of sports. Let me know how you feel. I appreciate it. Thanks to Kenny Thaxton and everybody at ENG and the Newport Village Mall. Let's talk sports each month right here on Cable 15 TV. And remember to watch us not only on Cable 15 TV, but on the internet, on our website, and all over the place. We're proud to be bringing these programs to you on Cable 15. I'm Bud Black.
Right. Visiting at ASU Newport with Chris Nelson, and my friend, good to see you, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
You might ask, why ASU Newport on the program this month? And the reason being, we're going to talk a little bit about New Vision Newport. We're going to talk about a business summit. And first of all, Chris, welcome to the program.
Thanks, sir.
Tell us a little bit about New Vision Newport. And for those of us who do not know, most of us do know, but if you don't know, what is New Vision Newport and how did you come into play there?
Well, New Vision Newport is a area leadership program put together by the NEDC and the Area Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
And they train local people to take a leadership role within the community and start to kind of develop the community from the inside out. It's a really great program as far as
well, it's a program that's been going on for several years now.
Sir.
And when we talk about New Vision Newport, how do we get people to participate in New Vision Newport? How does that come about? How did you get into New Vision?
Well, each company within the area can sponsor a person to work in there to go to the program. It's I think it's a 10-month training program.
Okay.
I'm class 12. So it's going to, like you said, it's been going on for a while now. But you get a hold of the NEDC or the area chamber, and you tell them that you're interested in having a person sponsored, that you want to be part of it, and they'll give you all the information you need from there. So it's a pretty good program, I'm telling you.
Tell me some of the things that you learn in this program. Tell us some of the things what are we trying to accomplish by having New Vision Newport?
Well, I believe that the main focus of New Vision Newport is to give a history of Jackson County and the area, so we get an idea of where we come from.
Sure.
So that we can get an idea of where we want to go. So we
Okay.
can take a look from where we come from, see where we want to go, and that allows us to grow our own, if you will. We'll take a few individuals from the area, from the county, and try to grow them up within the idea that we want to move Jackson County forward. That our goal is to increase our economic base and to draw people back to Newport and the surrounding area.
Well, you talk about 12 years, and of course, I didn't even realize it had been that long. It's a relatively new program that's been going on for 12 years. Yes. We just talked about that before we got on the air, but no doubt it's a great program, and one of the tasks that you guys have been asked to talk about what you're doing here, why we're here today.
Well, actually, what they started doing with our program is they break down the class into a couple different action teams, and those action teams are tasked with various community service projects. And our team was tasked with creating an economic development summit. Okay. And the goal of that summit is to let all the area business or even future business folks know what opportunities there are within Jackson County and in Newport.
Okay.
So we've brought together as many businesses as we can. We've brought together folks from the NEDC, we've brought in the mayor, we've brought in other small business areas, we've brought in Goodwill Industries of Arkansas. ASU Newport is part of it, and we're going to talk about workforce, we're going to talk about grants, we're going to talk about the economic development programs that are going on that the cities put together, and how the area banks can help small businesses get started and what all is entailed and what they need to know. If you want to start a business, do you know exactly what you need up front?
Yeah, some may know, some may not know.
Some may know, right? So we want to get that information out up front so that they can be more comfortable with starting that business, so they'll take that chance and so they'll know what their risk is, how to mitigate it, and how to actually get their business up and running.
Yeah, I think when you start a small business, which I have a small business that my brother and I started 20 years ago, and when you're going in, there were no leadership conferences or how to do it. It was kind of like trial and error.
Exactly.
This is a big plus for anybody that's interested in starting a business. And here's some facts and figures and some things that we think would help you be more successful in your business.
That's exactly right. And we're going to show people how that they can gain some opportunities downtown, where the businesses are, where properties are available, where our workforce market is at, and so we can help show people how to mitigate, again, that risk and how to develop a positive impact in whatever area that they're wanting to focus on. So that's the main goal of it.
Tell me when the summit is going to be, where it's going to be, and how it's going to be.
Well, all right, we'll start with when. It's going to be April 23rd.
Okay.
We're going to start it in that morning. We'll start everything about 8:30.
Okay.
And we'll have 3 breakout sessions. And we do that because we have 6 different speakers, and we want to make sure everybody gets a chance to hear as much information as possible.
Sure.
So we're going to break that into 3 sessions so that if you go to each one of those sessions, you'll get all the information.
Got it.
Also, we're going to have a group on the floor, so all the different area businesses have been invited. They can bring a booth, they can set up and tell what they do.
Okay,
and so that'll be set on the floor, and this is going to run from 8:30 to 12.
Okay.
So we don't want to take up everybody's day,
Sure,
you know.
understand.
So we get everybody working throughout the morning, get everybody switched out, see all the different information that's available, and that's pretty much it.
And those people who are interested in participating in this, what do you have to do if somebody's interested in who do we contact? How do we do that?
All you need to do is contact the folks down at the NEDC, or you can get a hold of Julie down at the Area Chamber of Commerce. Either one of those folks is a perfect contact. And also you can get a hold of me if you need to. You can email me or call me. My number is 870-512-7813.
Okay.
You can get a hold of me that way, or you can email me at Christopher_Nelson@asun.edu, and I can help you get set up to do that.
And we want to remind everybody, if you're watching after the end or after the 23rd, obviously at the end of the month, the Business Summit has already happened. But I know it's an exciting time to be in New Vision Newport. It's an exciting time to have new people, not necessarily young people, but I mean there are folks at my age that get in New Vision Newport, and everybody that has gone through the class, Chris, everybody that I've talked to has gone through the class, and I haven't gone through it, but everybody says that you learn so much about teamwork, so much about yourself and how you help other people. So it's a great program.
I agree completely.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that I do here is teach technical communications.
Right.
Part of that is teamwork building and interaction and interpersonal communications. And I'm going to tell you, that program, New Vision Newport, teaches it so well. And from the very beginning, the first meeting that you get into, you're going to delve into teamwork and interpersonal communications. You're going to become a team quickly, and you'll understand the dynamics of team, and it's a great thing.
Good deal. Good stuff, my friend. Good stuff.
Well, I appreciate you.
Chris Nelson at ASU Newport. It's always a pleasure to get out to our local college and be on the campus and get to bring you some information that we think is pertinent to all of us. Small Business Summit, as we say, on the 23rd. And folks, if you're interested in learning how, this is a great opportunity to do so. Thank you, Chris.
Yes, sir. Thanks again. Appreciate your time.
Busy with Tara Salinas on a Business Spotlight, Merchants and Planters Bank, and got a lot of things to talk about this month because, first of all, Community Bank Month is this month.
It's Community Bank Month.
Yeah.
Yay! We're going to celebrate.
Tell us about that.
Well, you know, here at Merchants and Planters, we pride ourselves on being a local community bank. I talk about it all the time and what that means to us, just being a presence in your community, serving the people that you live around and love. And so this month during April, we're going to do a little promotion of community banking, and we're asking our customers why they like to bank locally.
Okay.
So come in the office, come in the branch. We'll have little boxes put up with forms, and you can fill it out, and you can tell us why you love to bank locally.
Good deal.
We're interested to hear. We did this last year, and we got some really great responses. And so we're excited about it again this year. You'll also be able to go on our website and submit your entries there if you don't come in and bank with us anymore. So it's a neat thing. Like I said, we like to read what our customers have to say, and it's good to know that most of the time they like us as much as we like them.
That's correct.
I mean, you can share the bad too. We want to hear that too if it's bad, but we hope it's mostly good. So anyway, at the end of the month, each branch will draw from the box or from all the entries, and we'll be giving away a gift certificate to a local business.
Wow, good deal.
So it's just a way to celebrate not only banking locally, but dining locally, shopping locally, spending your money at home.
Well, we talk about that a lot, and when we're talking about Newport, Arkansas, and we're visiting with John at NEDC, and local people that make up this community, the backbone of our community, the people. I mean, no doubt, of any community, but it's just something special about being in Newport, Arkansas, and I know when we have our chamber banquet, we hand out awards, and we just recently had the chamber banquet, and Merchants and Planters Bank just happened to receive one of the awards that is very special. Tell us about this award.
Absolutely. We were honored, so honored and appreciative to be named the Large Business of the Year by the Area Chamber of Commerce here. And we call ourselves a small local community bank, so when we heard large business, we were like, oh, are we large? But we do employ over 100 people with all of our branches and everything. And it was very nice to be recognized. And in the award presentation, they talked about our staff and the people here and how involved they are in the community and how much the community appreciates that. And so that was really special. And, I think it just goes to show that if you love where you live and, you serve the people that's in your community, they'll notice.
I made some comments for Julian when she put together that great segment at the banquet the other night, talking about Newport and its past and Newport. What a great combination of Newport natives, people that were born and raised here or went to high school here, that come together with those people who are not Newport natives but have made Newport, Arkansas their home. And it is their home. And these people have just given their all to this community, and there's a lot of good camaraderie, and people get along here. I mean, people get the NEDC office, the chamber office gets along, the police department, the fire department, and the mayor's office, and the county judge, and everybody works together.
Right.
Kind of just reminds me of the good common stuff that we do at Merchants and Planters Bank. Everybody working together for the common cause.
I mean, that's what it takes, I think, and I think that's what makes Newport so special. And like I said, it was very special and touching to me to be honored with such an award.
Now, you guys have got something going on where we're going to honor some businesses. Let's talk a little bit. This is exciting.
And keeping with the local business and shopping and dining and spending your money locally, we are going to feature a local business every month as our business of the month. And we've got a little display set up out at our office on Highway 67.
Okay.
I know a lot of people stop by there on the daily. So when you come in, you'll see it's Aceman's Church. Whoops.
Churchman's Ace.
Whoops.
Churchman's Ace
Fix
Building
that.
Center. And it's just either way. It's Ace. Churchman's Building Center.
Ace Building Center.
Yes, that's right.
David Churchman over at Ace Building
Absolutely.
Center. They're, it's a great organization, great business. And they've been in business now
Long.
68 years.
Long time. Is that 68
So, and David's been there 42. He's a Newport native.
Unbelievable.
He's, proud to call Newport home. So anyway, we're recognizing them this year. So congratulations, and everybody stop by and see David out at Churchman's.
Churchman's Ace
Hardware. There we go.
Well, it was Churchman Building Center for many, many years, and then when they added the Ace part, when they moved out to the new
Kind
location.
of a mouthful, but
yes, it is.
you
Yes,
know.
it is. But I mean, there's another business where a family-owned business and been here many, many years and continue to serve the community, just like Merchants and Planters Bank.
Yep, got to support them.
Tara, good to see you, girl.
You too.
There's always stuff going on down here at Merchants and Planters Bank we can talk about. We appreciate you taking time to visit with us.
Thank you.
On a gorgeous early April morning, April afternoon. It's April and sometime. It's just April. I know that, Brother Tommy Bain.
It is.
Farmers Tire Mart in Newport. How are you, my friend? Good to see you.
Great. Doing great.
Tell me about the sunshine today.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It's
Beautiful
got a sunshine
day.
in between showers.
Between showers, yeah.
Yeah, we've kind of had some.
They say thunderstorms this afternoon, but
I don't see 'em.
We'll see.
It looks to me like it's going to be a beautiful day.
It does.
Sun is bright.
Yeah.
Business is brisk.
Brisk.
If you need tires, I guess you could come to Farmers Tire Mart and get a set.
There was a guy came in yesterday, as a matter of fact. He said, I said, how can I help you, sir? And he said, I hear you can buy tires here. Yeah.
You sure can. Yeah, what kind you need? What kind you need?
That little mouse is out spreading the word.
He is, isn't he? He is.
is.
And you've been here selling tires for many, many years,
Well,
haven't you, sir?
as of today, we finished up 23 years.
23 years.
Started the 24th year today.
Is that right? Well, congratulations, my friend. Well, that means you've been doing it right.
Well, we've been doing it.
Hey, you've been making some good deals on tires. And I used to say this when I was selling cars. People ask me about, well, did you sell them a car? Did you give them a good deal? And I said, well, if they bought the car, they got a good deal. But if they didn't buy it, apparently they didn't get a good deal. So if they buy tires, I guess they got a good deal.
Get a good deal.
Yes, sir.
If they buy tires here.
Talk about tires and tire products, and I mean, talk about some brand names here, because I mean, you guys carry most everything.
We carry Firestone, we carry the Buckshot,
Yeah.
we carry the Kenda mud terrains
Right.
and all terrains, and some highway tread in the Kenda line, and you can check this out on the internet. That Kenda has got a marvelous review.
Okay.
And we handling some of those, the Firestone brand and some Goodyear.
Yeah, you bet.
Capital brand. You
Sure,
know, there's several brands that the market demands,
Right.
and we try to keep some of them.
Well, and if you don't have, and obviously you can't keep every tire in stock that you need. It doesn't take long to get a set if you don't have them in stock.
Generally, we have service the next day.
Right.
Most time it's earlier in the day to around 8:30
Okay.
to have them here and guys ready to put them on.
You bet. You bet. Got a lot of good
yeah,
service.
it's impossible to handle all the tires and all the sizes. There's so many sizes that it's just makes it really difficult.
Yeah, so many sizes that fit this car.
This car.
Yeah, this car.
This
And then there's
particular
lots of
car.
other cars, lots of other trucks, lots of other guys. I got a good tire question for you, and talked about this not too long ago. Somebody had mentioned plies on tires. What's the difference in a ply of a tire? What does that mean? What's a ply?
Back in the old days of the when they made built tires out of cotton cord.
Okay.
To use the sidewall structure and the belt structure and everything. They use cotton cords.
Okay.
And they use 2 plies of cotton, or they use 4 plies of cotton, or 6 plies of cotton.
Okay.
And this is carried over down through the years. And but nowadays it's tensile strength,
Okay.
load carrying capacity.
Okay.
Like the customer come in and I'll always say, what ply is this?
Right.
I said, well, I said, actually, the material that they build them out of nowadays, there's only 2 ply
Okay.
in the sidewalls, and that's true with about all the tires.
Okay.
And so they said, well, I want a heavier tire than that. And I said, well, we want load carrying capacity.
Right, absolutely.
And I said, this 2 plies of polyester cord that they're built with does have the tensile strength of 10 plies.
Okay. So, yeah.
So
even though it's 2, you still
you
okay.
still
I
got
got
the
you.
strength of 10 plies. So that old adage is carried over from the older days when they actually used cotton to build tires.
Yeah,
out
it's
of it.
interesting, isn't it?
It is.
Interesting
It's
stuff.
interesting.
And obviously, and I remember in my lifetime several years ago, steel belted radial tires. When that first, oh man, that was boy, steel belted radial. Boy, I mean that was the thing. That was the thing. And then technology in tires have certainly changed down through the years, even since you've been in business 23 years.
It has. I suppose that I probably sold the first set of steel belted radials in Newport when I worked for Firestone many moons ago.
Yes, sir.
But the steel belt, a lot of people think it's a solid steel belt, but it's not. It's a woven many strands of steel laid in on the crown of a tire that makes up the belts. The majority of the belt system. Right. There is nylon belts, and there is rayon belts and steel belts that make up a system, and so it's not a solid steel belt.
Well, if anybody's ever seen an older tire that's kind of worn out, maybe see some of the steel coming out of that tire, you can certainly see exactly what you're talking about. The little steel pieces. It's not like a solid piece of steel like a can or something like that, but there is a lot of pieces there. But they're made different today. They're made better today. They last longer today. They run a lot better.
Technology has as you know, has come a long, long way since I started in the tire business back in around 70. Technology and technology is here to stay.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
It's going to get even better as time goes on.
Tommy, we not only do tires, we talk about it on this program a lot. We service automobiles. We take care of some, mechanical working parts of the vehicle that we can take care of. Talk a little bit about service.
We do. I've got probably the best, and a lot of people tell you this, back it up. We have the best alignment man in this county.
Right.
And Bruce Wilson, he's been with me
a long time,
coming up on 20 years.
Yeah.
And people come in and ask for him.
Right.
And he does great, and he's capable of replacing all the suspension parts, the struts, the springs, tie rod ends, the ball joints, and all those things that make up the turning capabilities of the vehicle. And I'm just proud of that boy.
Yeah, he has done a marvelous job, and he's always willing to give you information that you need to know up front.
Yes.
Let me tell you what. Well, I've got it broken down here. Let me tell you what you're going to need. Let me get with Tommy. Let's get a price on this deal, and then you're not going to get any surprises. You're not going to get any surprises when you do a little business at Farmers Tire Mart. You know up front.
That's absolutely true, and we don't want to surprise anybody. Right. We want them to understand and to know what's coming their way. We can fix about anything except a broken heart.
I don't know about that. I believe you can do that too, my friend.
Bruce can work on that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give it a challenge. Of course, we do oil changes. You need windshield wiper blades, or and especially when we talk about servicing an automobile, checking the fluid levels in an automobile, especially this time of year, it's fixing to get hot.
Yeah.
You need to check a little air pressure, make sure your air pressure is right. But that's just part of general service.
We had a dear little lady come in this morning. She said, my truck is making a clicking noise, and we wanted it checked out, and doggone it, she was 4 quarts low of oil. And but You know, things like that happen.
They happen.
It happens. But, you know, if you just come by and say, would you please check my oil?
Absolutely.
We'll check that oil.
Absolutely.
No problem. We'll check that air pressure, set it. You know, there's no problem. Be tickled to death to do it for them. So you folks just come on in if you got problems, or you think you got problems. We'll let you know as honest as we know how.
Absolutely.
To let you know what kind of problems you have, if you have a problem.
Great people, great service, tremendous product. That's what it takes to be successful. Brother Tommy Bain, it's always a pleasure to get to see you, sir. I guess if you need tires or service on your automobile, you can get it right here, can't you?
Get it right here.
Y'all have tires here?
Yes, sir.
Farmers Tire Mart, where?
1501 Malcolm Avenue, where the rubber meets the road.
It does that, my friend. Easy for you to say.
Yes.
White River Area Agency on Aging, and we're filming in Batesville, and this is Tracy Baxter. And we're going to visit about a few things today and talk about some of the things that you might not know. But first of all, welcome, Tracy.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Tracy Baxter, those of us who may not know you.
All right. Well, that's pretty easy. It's pretty short. All right. Well, I'm Tracy Baxter. I'm the regional manager here with the Area Agency on Aging. I've been here going on almost 5 years.
Wow.
But I've been in-home services and home care for more than 20. So I like to, you know, tell people that and let them know that, you know, a lot of our people here have a lot of experience to bring to the table, even though we may not have been here 20 years. So.
Tell us a little bit about your education and where you grew up.
All right. Well, I graduated from Batesville High School, and then I went to Harding for a short time, came home, got my nursing degree. So I'm a registered nurse. And I do use that role here some. I can, you know, use my nursing degree, but then I also mainly cover 3 of our 10 counties.
In covering 3 of these 10 counties, tell us a little bit about what you do, and I know as a director, that means you're overseeing some programs. You got some people that may be working under you or whatever, or with you, and tell us a little bit about exactly what you do.
Okay. Well, I work with 3 great teams. We have more great teams, but I get to work with 3 directly. I work with the Woodruff County team, Jackson County team, and Independence County team. So that I go into the counties each week and just help support them, encourage them. They have a hard job. They're working hard to take care of people, and I just go in to help facilitate, help them make their job easier if possible. We have a nurse in each county, an office coordinator, and a care manager in each county. And then, of course, our wonderful home care aides. We wouldn't be the agency we are without them. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And let's talk just a little bit about, when you talk about in-home services, I mean, there's so many services that you guys provide, but and we thought we'd do a little segment here called Did You Know? And there's some things that, you know, we want to know, did you know? And you have some of those questions to ask and answer.
Yes, yes. I'd like to, you know, I thought that'd be a lot of fun. Did you know? Some people don't realize that we have a 10-county area.
Right.
And that we have a local office in each of those 10 counties.
Right.
So they can go right down the street and talk to someone. You know, it's not calling, reaching someone in Little Rock.
Sure.
We're right there in the county.
Right.
So that's exciting for us. And then also, we've been in business 35 years, which many of you, you got to celebrate with us.
We did that. Oh, we had cake and we had cake and stuff.
Yeah, so a lot of people got in on our celebration, but we've been in business for more than 35 years.
Good thing to know.
Yes. Also, did you know that we have more than 600 employees?
Wow.
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Yes. So it takes a lot of people with that caring heart, but we're blessed to have more than 600 of those people working with us, helping keep people at home.
Sure, sure.
So.
Well, you know, it's really a unique business what you guys do, because you speak about your heart. Your heart has to be in this. You have to really, really care about people and people in need.
Yes.
Because the services that you guys provide are for people in need.
Yes,
I mean, and there are specific services to talk just a little bit about in-home services. What are some of those things that you guys provide for those folks that need us?
Okay. Well, we want people to know that it doesn't matter what the need is. We want them to call us. It can be, how do I get a home-delivered meal? How do I receive care in my home? How do I, get help with my drug plan? I'm needing a new Medicare drug plan. I need help. The questions can go on for days. What we want people to know is our number one goal is to help them stay at home as independent as they can. So we want people to think of us as that resource. If they don't know who to turn to, who to call, well, we're always going to be there, and it's a free service. There's no charge to call and ask questions or get direction or help.
Well, I know having, in Newport, you guys are in the same office that we are, and just the amount of people that come in and out of that office, there's lots of helpers.
Yes, lots.
You guys do a great job.
We do.
And I understand you do a pretty good job, too.
Oh, well, thank you. But I do want to take a minute when you said that and brag on our home care aides, because they're the ones going in the home. They're providing maybe help with a bath. Some people can bathe themselves. We're just there to assist, make sure they don't fall. We can prepare a hot meal. So many people would rather have a meal our aide can prepare, and then they may save their delivered meal for supper. That way, that's one of a great service. We also can help people shop. We can actually take the person shopping. That's another did you know.
Wow.
They can go with us. Some companies, aren't allowed to do that, and we love that we can take them out in the community. They're not confined to the home. They do not have to be homebound. And just errands, if they need something picked up at the store, we can go do that. We also remind them to take their medicine. That's a big deal. Some people don't have family and they need those reminders.
Yeah, reminders. Here they are. Here's when you take them. Let's get it done.
Right. Our aide can say, Miss Smith, have you had your medicine this morning? Absolutely. So that's a great benefit.
Well, Tracy, we appreciate you taking time to visit with us here on the Business Spotlight, both Newport and Batesville. And anything else we need to talk about today?
Well, let's see.
Got any more did you knows?
I've got another big did you know.
Did you know? Did you know? And this is the big one.
This is the big one. We love our veterans. We love all our clients, but veterans are special. We have 3 veteran programs. So we're very proud of that. We've got some new ones on board. We're reaching out to find all services we can to help people. So we have 3 veteran programs. One program will even help the spouse.
Okay.
So that's something new. So if you're a veteran and you need some services, we'd love to help.
You can call us. We'll have some numbers at the bottom of the screen. You can come by any of our locations throughout a 10-county area, and we've been doing this for 35 years. And you don't do something for 35 years unless you're doing it pretty well, and you guys can continue to do so.
Yeah, we have a great team at White River, so we would love to provide any assistance or help that you need.
And the final Did You Know is coming right up.
All right. Did you know that we can provide services in the home even if home health's already in there? Home health providers are skilled providers, and we are what's considered non-skilled.
Okay.
So we can go in the home if someone has a home health nurse coming in or they have a physical therapist. We can go in and provide the services such as the bathing or housekeeping. Those things, we can do those together. So the home health's in the area, and White River Area Agency on Aging make great partners.
I bet you do.
That's something I wanted to
provide a bunch of great services.
Well, thank you.
Tracy, good to see you, girl.
You too. Thank you.
Let's continue on with more of the Business Spotlight. John Chadwell, NEDC, and we get to come down and visit and talk about the excitement that's going on in Newport, Arkansas. And realistically, each and every month when I get to come down here and visit with you, John, I get excited. I get excited when you tell me about the things that are going on prior to the interview, and I get excited during the interview. But we've got a lot of things to talk about today. Let's just hit on them right now. Let's talk about things that are happening in Newport, Arkansas.
Well, things that we've planned for a while are starting to come to pass. And, a lot of times we'll know about something a year before it actually comes to reality. And sometimes we can tell about it, sometimes we can't. And sometimes it's really hard to sit here on good news, and just wait to the right time to tell it.
Right.
And so when you get to finally tell it, it's almost old news to you, but nobody else has heard it. But I know a lot of people have heard some of what we're going to talk about, but there's a lot of construction going on.
We're building.
There's building going on all over the place. Some of it is state, like the bridge. And if you haven't been down to see the progress on the new bridge over the White River, they have made some significant progress. It's kind of incredible what's going on. It's amazing to watch.
It is amazing to watch. You don't have to go down on a day-to-day basis, but go down there every couple of weeks and see what's happened down there, and you go, how in the world, how does that happen? It just amazes me.
It does. It's beyond me. I can't figure it all out.
I agree.
And then we look at the local level with the government work, and you see the new jails going up and a lot of construction on the new jail. That's progressing and coming along. Is going to look really, really nice. You see all the stuff that's been done at the school district, all the renovations they've made to improve, and so there's a lot of government type construction that's going on that's really making a difference in our community. The housing we recently did with the NEDC for the Maverick truck driving students. A lot of stuff going on in town that government's doing. And that's important, state government, local government, but you also need the private sector.
Absolutely.
And so we began to look, and you can see the two new dealerships in town are starting construction and going up, and hopefully over the next 12 months we're going to have 2 state-of-the-art dealerships right out on the interstate for people to see when they drive through Newport. Going to be a great welcome to Newport kind of view that's going to be there. We've got a lot of other businesses that have bought property. O'Reilly's is getting ready to build a new building. A lot of businesses like that have purchased property and starting construction. And so I think over the next 6 months, people are going to see as much construction in our area as they've seen in a long, long time.
And when you have construction like that, whether it's the government base or I mean, it's work for people. You know, there's people that can work doing construction jobs, and I mean, it is an opportunity to employ people.
It is, and a lot of those people are local. A lot of the subcontractors that get parts of these jobs are local. Some contractors, even a lot of the general contractors are from our community, and so that provides needed income for them. And I know that some of our subs and some of our generals often talk about driving to Jonesboro for a job, or driving here for a job, or driving there for a job. So it's really nice when we've got construction jobs right here in town and they can do them. They don't have to drive somewhere else to do it.
Saves expense, saves on the bottom line.
It's the view of people looking at Newport, and there's something going on. I mean, there's a lot going on. So Newport is a growing place, and that's something that people haven't gotten accustomed to saying in a long time. But you and I have talked about the empty building situation.
Sure.
I'm working right now with a group that owns an empty building. There's precious few empty buildings left in Newport that are habitable.
Absolutely.
You've got a few that are empty that you couldn't put a business
Nothing in there at all. That is correct.
You could build a new building cheaper than you could put a business in that building. But you know, when we started keeping the list in the office of the buildings that were empty for businesses, we were over 100 buildings that we would drive around and count that are empty. Now we're under 50. And most, like I said, most of those 50, or many of those 50, are buildings that really aren't. They're like the 5 that Drive-On's downtown that they're getting ready to tear down. They're not desirable.
Can't use them for really anything.
No,
number one, they're not safe.
They're not safe. The money
not economical.
The money to restore them would be more than the money to build a brand new building, and so it's just not feasible. And so, if you want to look at buildings we have, the only industrial building we have, and it's being used, but the only industrial building we have that's available is out at the air base, the old General Cable building. That's the only one that is left. And every other industrial building we have has been filled. You know, and that's a great testimony to what's going on in Newport. So
well, there are things happening, and there are things that and again, you and I talk a lot about. You know, everybody wants to see the big thing now, and work in progress. I mean, it's not a one-day deal. It's not a 1-year deal. This is a lifetime deal. We're working for the next 100 years in Newport, Arkansas, and we're looking to the future in how we build and what we build and what we bring. And it's not a slow process. It is a steady process at worst.
It is a steady process, and sometimes that's healthier than getting a huge process that overwhelms you and you're not able to deal with it. But Newport is growing steadily, and some of what we've got to do is increase quality of life opportunities. We want people not just to have a job here, we want people to live here. And that's education, but part of that is opportunity to do things. People want to do things, and that's where the downtown group comes in.
Downtown project, and we mentioned this before, we'll talk a little bit about it, but it's an incredible project on what we're undertaking to give something back to attract people to the community. Something good, some entertainment, some good stuff. Good stuff. Talk about it.
And we've got the plans now, the overview plans for the park downtown on Front Street. And if you're out and about, come by the Newport Business Resource Center. We've got 10 big posters that show exactly what the plan is going to be. There's going to be a Veterans Memorial, and people can, starting now, buy bricks for veterans and their family to honor that veteran that will go in the sidewalk around the Veterans Memorial. There's going to be a stage. There's going to be an area where you can buy a brick in honor or memory of just anybody, you know, for something they've done or they're important in your life. That'll be tied to Jackson County. That'll be an area for that as well. And then there'll be music. Twice a month we've got already agreements to bring music downtown, free to the public, so you can come out and enjoy a concert, bring a blanket, a lawn chair, whatever, sit out and enjoy a concert in the evening. That'll happen twice a month from April to October. And then once a month we're going to have movies in the park.
Right.
Now the movies in the park may be next year before it starts, but some of the concerts are going to start probably a little later this year.
Right.
And it's going to be a place where, with the Veterans Memorial, it'll be a nice place to honor those who made things possible for us in America. And then with the stage, it'll be a nice place for us to enjoy the present. One thing I like about having both of those together, so often Veterans Memorials are stuck off somewhere where they're the only thing there.
Right.
And so somebody goes and sees them once and they're like, I've been there, done that, and they don't go back. But having a Veterans Memorial as an integral part of a living park will bring people back time and time again to remember the sacrifice that was made by so many people. And so it's a really neat thing. We're also going to be taking donations, in-kind labor and effort or materials that people have, money that people want to give is going to be raised. And so sometime in the near future, we're going to be having a big kickoff event and people can come and see and hear and do and be part of it.
Well, there's no doubt that the folks in Newport, Arkansas will step up. We'll get it done. There's no doubt in my mind we'll get it done. Whatever we got to do to get it done, we'll get it done.
I think we will, and I think it's going to be great.
Lots of things going on in Newport, Arkansas, and it's always good to come down and because you're the man in the know, as they say.
I wish I knew more.
John Chadwell, good to see you, my friend. NEDC, he's the head man down here. And let me tell you what, it's not an easy job what this guy does, but what he does very, very well. Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the April edition of the Jackson County Farm Report. I'm Randy Kopechka with this month's report. Well, we're in one of those spring patterns again like we've been in the past couple of years. You know, we go back to 2012, and it was such a great spring. Warmed up in February. We actually had a lot of field work done in February. Planting started in early March, and all our planting got done early. We had a great crop, but the last 2 years have certainly been a lot different in regard to that. You know, we just really wet and cold for the month of March. Abnormally high rainfall, one of the rainiest Marches we've ever had. Also a very cool March with really unprecedented winter precipitation for the month of March. So, you know, it's really kind of got our farmers a little bit behind. We got some field work done in the first half of February, but really since about Valentine's Day, hadn't been a lot done. It's just been too cold and too wet. So, you know, a lot of our farmers are getting concerned. Well, are we going to get the crop in and things like that? But, you know, we've always got it in. You know, talk to old timers, 90 plus years old, and they say we've always made a crop, always got the crop in. So, you know, hopefully we'll get it done. You know, we're going to get it done at some point. It just may be a little later than we would like. We're taping on April the 2nd for the April program, and just been a very limited amount of planting done. I'm aware of one farmer that's planted a little bit of rice. You know, there could be others that I haven't heard of, but I've heard of one guy that's planted a little bit of rice. A couple of guys have planted a little bit of corn, so just way behind normal where we would usually be at this time. You know, normally we'd like to have most of our corn crop planted in March, and a good amount of rice planted as well in March. So just not happening this year, but we're going to get it done. I'd like to go through each of our crops right now and just kind of talk about where we're at right now. Of course, the wheat crop is in the field right now. You know, as we tape, we're taping on April 2nd again. There's still some fertilizer that hasn't been applied yet. And most of our wheat has got to that joining stage right now where we go to the reproductive stage, so it's very important that fertilizer be applied. If it hasn't been applied by now and you're watching in early April, get it applied as soon as you can and get that done and set yourself up at least for some decent yield potential right there. Weed control, if you're was planning on using 2,4-D for weed control, for broadleaf weed control, it's too late. In the field a couple of days ago, and all the fields I were in, most of the wheat was already starting that joint movement, so really too late for that. You would cause quite a bit of damage. Harmony Extra is a good alternative for that. You can use that for wild garlic control and some other broadleaf control, but again, you got till flag leaf emergence to get that done. As far as diseases, there's some stripe rust and also some septoria leaf spots showing up south of here, so we really need to be aware of that. And if those diseases reach treatment level, we need to get fungicide applied out there as soon as we can. So that's kind of where we're at with wheat. As far as our other crops, planting dates, corn is certainly a big concern, as I mentioned earlier. We really need to get our corn planted by early May. We really don't lose a lot of yield potential until we get to early May, so even though it may seem late, we like to get it planted in March, you can still make a good crop as late as early May. Rice, our yield potential starts going down after about mid-April, so if we can get it planted the first half of the month, which we're looking at the forecast, we're probably not going to get a lot of rice planted in the first half of April, but really yield potential doesn't start going down a lot till we get past mid-April, so you can plant rice all the way until early June, depending on what variety you plant, but yield potential is going to start going downhill after mid-April. So, we're just going to have to get that crop planted as soon as we can, and maybe at some point start thinking about different varieties that are better suited for late planting. So we're just going to have to see where we end up with the rice crop planting and, how the weather materializes between now and then. But, again, yield potential does start going down, but let's talk about varieties, call and ask about varieties and things like that. And we'll talk to you about the varieties that are better for late planting, and you still maintain some pretty good yield potential with that. Grain sorghum, a lot of people are really starting to get concerned about grain sorghum because we've got so much planned to be planted this year. We like to plant grain sorghum in April, but again, you can plant as late as into June and still make some pretty decent yields. The problem with getting into June is we really get into some insect issues, and we're going to have to use quite a bit of insecticide sprays probably if we get to that point. Really three main issues: the sorghum midge, which is much more of a problem when we get into late planting. That can be a big problem. Also our headworms, they're always worse with later plantings, it seems like. And of course the sugarcane aphid, which is really a new insect for grain sorghum, really just started feeding on grain sorghum in Arkansas this past year. And a lot of farmers are really concerned about the sugarcane aphid, especially those guys that are just now, thinking about growing milo for the first time in a while or increasing their acreage, one or the other. There's a lot of concern about that sugarcane aphid. We can manage the sugarcane aphid, but like most sorghum insects, it's probably going to be a little bit worse if we get into some later planting. So again, you can plant grain sorghum well into June, but if you do that, you better be budgeting some insecticide sprays because you're going to need them to maintain yield potential. Of course, soybeans, we've learned a lot about soybeans over the last few years about the importance of early planting. Our yield potential is certainly better with April plantings, but as everyone knows, we can plant soybeans well into June, and yield potential doesn't start dropping tremendously until we get past mid-June. So we're going to lose a little bit of yield potential after April as we go into May and June, but really it's not a big loss until we get into late June and certainly into July. So again, as everybody always says, we've always got the crop in, always made a crop, so I think this year hopefully will be no exception, and hopefully by the time we meet again for the May report, we'll get some dry weather and get some crops planted and off to a good start. This has been Randy Klepechka with the April edition of the Jackson County Farm Report.
Tommy Allen, Dillinger Funeral Home. My friend, good to see you, sir.
It's good to be here.
We are in the new, remodeled, wide open facility at Dillinger Funeral Home, and what a great addition that we have, Tommy. We have some pictures on display here that are from a long time ago and tell a tremendous, gives us a little insight to our history from what was going on 100 plus years ago. Talk a little bit about these pictures.
Well, first I'd like to thank the Jackson County Historical Society for helping us with this project that we're doing, and the pictures are just really neat and promote conversation about people that lived a couple or three generations ago, and more or less.
Yes.
More or less.
More.
And, but it's just neat seeing the way they done business back then opposed to the way they do business now, and pictures of 1900 and 1909 and the first telephone system that was in Jackson County, and the operators and all their knowledge.
Absolutely. All the knowledge that they procured doing their job. Yes, sir. That's they had the scoop, did they not?
That was better than the barbershop.
That is correct. That is correct. But Tommy, some of the things that I've noticed in great pictures, but there's one with a store in downtown Newport, like a mercantile store, but the depot pictures, and you had mentioned and talked about the restaurant, the hotel, and I mean, from a historical standpoint, I don't remember that, but it's pretty neat to see that stuff.
Yeah, it was about 2 or 3 days before I was born.
Absolutely,
At
it
least.
was. Yeah, in the early 1900s.
Yes.
And you've got a lot of pictures, and one with a big truck that's got steel wheels with hard rubber wheels on it, and a big tree in the back, and then, I mean, just looking around the operators and then feeding livestock. But you've got a picture over there on the wall of the depot and that hotel that I think is just pretty neat.
But you know, some of the senior citizens still remember when the hotel and the restaurant was there, and so they can tell us things that we don't know, that we never knew existed, and pictures are just a wonderful thing.
Well, they are, and they capture. I mean, they capture the essence of what's going on in a time. And you talk about several generations. I mean, literally a century plus ago. And I made mention to you when you see those pictures, those are actually real people. It always amazed me when I look back in my lifetime. When I look back at black and white pictures, I have a hard time visualizing sunlight. I mean, that's just in my brain. But the sun was probably shining that day.
It probably was.
And especially when you talk about the people on Front Street with all the cotton, it was probably hot. And the picture with the people with the long sleeve shirts on, talk a little bit about that.
Well, that's protecting their skin.
Absolutely.
You know, it wasn't because it's cooler.
Right.
But maybe they knew something then that we don't know now.
Yeah. Or we didn't learn it.
Or there's more. We're slow learning.
Yes, sir. Yes.
But you know, that's it's just awesome to look at them and just think about the time that they lived compared to the time that we live in.
Yes.
And the technology and the things. I appreciate the time that I live in.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it looks to me like if you just had a general synopsis of look at these pictures and you go, it's probably a little easier today than it was back then. Is what I would reckon.
It's probably a lot easier today than it was back then.
I mean, you see horses and buggies.
At sun up to sundown with one row
that's
behind
right.
a mule.
That's right. That's right. Tough work, but
Yeah.
that's what it took. And but it's just a pretty good history here. And you have more pictures coming, correct?
Have more pictures coming. We're still in progress. We're not finished, but we're making progress, and we're very proud of where we're at with the funeral home right now, and extra room and some of the designs that we've done to help families to make it easier for them to move around in the funeral home and not be so bottlenecked as in the halls, and we had a lot of positive comments about that, and we're just glad we're getting it towards the end of the project.
We certainly want to invite people by. I mean, you don't have to come to talk about funeral business. You can just come by and look at the pictures, and I think you'll be impressed. And then, like we say, more coming. And it's just really neat to look at those pictures and to think, I mean, that's what it was years ago. It's just amazing to me. Amazing. Looking back on history. You've got a great collection of it here.
I do, and I appreciate the Jackson County Historical Society. And they just really helped us out with this.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. Tommy, it's always a pleasure to come down and get to visit with you. And we didn't talk a lot about, the funeral business as such today, but we've got something pretty neat to talk about, and people can come enjoy. Good to see you, my friend.
We appreciate Mr. Pleggy, too. He helped us with the Jackson County Historical Society pictures, and we just appreciate him, and he was just glad to do it.
I bet he was, Mr. Frank Pleggy, no doubt about it.
He's just a super guy.
He is a great guy, no doubt about that. No doubt about it.
We appreciate him helping us with this, and we appreciate the families that allow us to serve them. You always have an option, and we just thank them for giving us the opportunity to serve their families. We have a dedicated Christian team here that will go way beyond what's expected of them to make sure that funerals are personal.
Absolutely.
We go to great lengths to tailor a service that reflects the life of the person that we're paying tribute to. And Dillinger Funeral Home, you're always welcome. Come by and visit. We'll sit down and have a glass of tea, lemonade, or a hot cup of coffee. This springtime will bring on some iced tea.
I guarantee you.
Spring has sprung.
Spring has sprung. It's time, isn't it?
Yes.
Absolutely. Tommy, good to see you, my friend, always. Dillinger Funeral Home, we're located on Highway 367, 167, 67, something 67.
Depends on what month it is.
That is correct, here in Newport. He's Tommy Allen at Dillinger Funeral Home. St. Michael's Place, we are visiting with the Director of Nursing, and a very, very tongue-tied last name for David Black, I have to say, but Julia Verdeja. Am I right?
That's correct.
I'm good. I got it on the first take. How is Julia?
Doing great.
Tell me a little bit about you. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up, and tell me a little bit about your family and how you got a name like that.
I grew up in Batesville.
Okay.
We are originally from Arizona. Went to Batesville schools. My husband is from Cancun.
Okay.
And
kids? Have kids?
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
let's talk about our kids.
I have 4 daughters.
Oh, wow.
4 daughters.
You're a busy lady.
I am.
Yeah, I guarantee you are. And living in Batesville, still in Batesville?
I do live in Batesville.
Okay, good deal. Now tell me a little bit about being at St. Michael's Place, Director of Nursing. Obviously that's a title, and anytime you got a title, you got huge responsibility. What does the Director of Nursing do at St. Michael's Place? Tell me what your day's like.
Well, throughout the day, I, of course, monitor all the nursing staff.
Okay.
Do scheduling, make sure that we meet guidelines and regulations.
Okay. It's a tough job.
It is a very tough job.
A lot of responsibility.
It is, day and night, night and day.
Let me ask you this now. Tell me about this particular business. Why are you in the nursing home business? Why that business? How did you pick that when you were whatever age of your life? You said, that's what I want to do. How'd you pick that?
I love geriatrics. A lot of people ask me why I do it like you have.
Yeah.
Just because a lot of people think that at the end of life, they've lived all their life and there's not much more that you can do for them.
Right.
But there is, and we can provide that little bit of comfort for them at their end of their life. And they also have something to teach us as well. So I just thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the part about teaching us something, because each and every time that me personally, when you go into a facility like St. Michael's and you see the residents and you see the fun that they're having, and you got to be, we talked about this yesterday, we talked about you got to be a special person to want to be in this type of business and want to help, and it's like you say in a lot of cases on the end of the life spectrum, but a lot of cases just like you guys do also. You have short-term rehabilitation here too also.
We do. We have short-term rehab here. Maybe they've had a turn in their life that's brought them here.
Yeah.
We rehab them, and then we do send them home. And of course, we do have some of them that have returned and are doing short-term rehab again.
Right, so, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this. How long have you been here? Tell us a little bit about where all you've been along the way.
I've been here since March the 2nd. Okay. Previously to coming here, I was at Woodland Hills in Jacksonville. Okay. I was there a year, and prior to that, I worked at Clearview Geriatrics in Searcy, and I was there for a short span.
Okay.
And before that was Director of Nurses at Batesville at Rolling Hills.
Good deal. So you've had a lot of experience.
I have.
Certainly love your job, I know that.
I do.
We've kind of got a new staff here, new staff at St. Michael's. Yes. We'll be visiting with more of the staff as we come, and tell us about the staff that you're working with.
Oh.
The good things, of course. The good things.
They are a great staff to work for. This team has really come together. I think all the personalities are here for the right reasons, and we're just going to give great care here.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Short-term, long-term care, whatever you need at St. Michael's Place. And the Director of Nursing, I know, is one of the toughest jobs in this business. And I know you're doing great. I know that.
It is. It is one of the toughest.
Hectic but good.
Yes.
Julia, say it again for me.
Verdeja.
Verdeja. She's the Director of Nursing. I said it once correctly at the beginning of the interview, but who knows if I can get it right the second time. I appreciate you taking time to visit with us.
Thank you.